Hello, welcome to Purple Haze Director's Commentary. I am your host, Tyler Blanc. I am also the producer, the director, and the editor of Purple Haze. Here we will talk about all things technical, production design, the cinematography, and the editing, and the choices that were made to help create this video. I do suggest that if you haven't seen the Purple Haze video yet, that you go ahead and click the link above and watch it first because there are some extreme spoiler alerts and I wouldn't want you to feel robbed of anything. So watch that first and then come back and join us. So I hope that you enjoy it and that you learned something, and I'll see you afterward. So the first thing going in is I used a black and white backdrop, slow motion, and ominous music to introduce the video. These three things help to create and build the tension going into the opening scene. Well, I continue with black and white because the shots of the home were taken in two separate locations. So this helped me to uphold the integrity of the video and also to maintain the continuity. It also helped the viewing audience to discern between present and past time. Now let's rewind for 1 second. In this opening scene, I had the videographer shoot the room at a very limited angle. This helped me to play into the audience's natural tendencies to build stereotypical notions of who this character is. And that is actually me walking out the door. Now, I chose a close-up shot of my face because I wanted to have a direct eye-to-eye conversation with you, the viewer. I wanted you to feel the intensity of my thoughts. These photos are actually stock photos that I took offline from the Civil Rights Movement period. And this footage right here was actually taken at the National Center for Civil and Human Rights Museum in Atlanta, Georgia. I highly recommend, if you're ever there, to check it out. They had some beautiful pieces, artwork, and history. Here you see an old photo taken from the Civil Rights era, and this next one is actually present time. And I kept them both black and white to show that although the times are changing, the circumstances have remained the same. So now I'm transitioning from black and white to color to help bring the audience into the present time. And this scene right here is very important to me because I wanted to highlight and showcase the victims, but I didn't want to use their faces to exploit them because a lot of them were minors. So this was the compromise that I came up with. And this way I could really draw the audience in to focus on the names to hopefully ignite some curiosity to want to look up their stories as well. Okay, so these scenes were actually shot in KAISERSLAUTERN, Germany by a very talented videographer by the name of HICKS. And what I wanted in these scenes was something very gritty but beautiful and artistic. So when Terry suggested this location, I thought it was perfect with all of the graffiti and the color, yet it still looked a bit dark and mysterious. I also really love the way that Terry shot this scene. I love the camera angles in that it was very fluid and in constant motion. I feel like this helped to elevate this scene, as well as it played into the laid-back conversation that I was having with the audience. This is also stock footage that I took offline, and what I did was I used the lyrics and the Night Thunder beats to help play into the marching. So it symbolizes the rhythm of the night, the rhythm of the city, and the rhythm of the people protesting. I use this technique a lot throughout the clip to create a dance between the lyrics and the imagery to highlight important scenes. Now, let's take a closer look at wardrobe design and makeup. I did use a very minimalistic approach, but it was still very intentional. I didn't want to draw too much attention to myself, as I was not the protagonist of the video, but the actual storyline was. However, I will admit that my favorite element in costume design was the hair. A young lady by the name of Janice, based out of Atlanta, Georgia, did it, and I have to say that it just completely embodied the term Purple Haze and the ideology behind it. Side note, the scene shot in the studio had a slow motion effect. I had the videographer record in slow motion, and then later during the editing process, I sped it up to get this unique, intense look. Now, I really like this scene right here because as I say cold hands, you can see the breath leaving. It was a unique coincidence that added depth, so I decided to keep it. All of these scenes with the character in the hoodie walking were shot in Atlanta, Georgia by my first videographer, Pete Anderson. The actress who plays the mother, Lauren Stingily, is also based out of Atlanta, Georgia. So the bedroom scenes had to be taken in two separate locations. So when she's looking into the room, she's actually looking into a different room than what you see on camera. This is also the scene where the audience discovers who the character really is. It is a great surprise element and plot twist. And that right there is my husband. I sneak him in all of my videos. So the characters and hoodies are actually two separate people. That is myself in Georgia, and this is Sade in Germany. Sade is also the young lady that you see in the opening scene. She is also the very beautiful young girl you can see in the pictures. I did this in pre-production. I had her take pictures with my husband to add more authenticity to the scenes. These last two images are very symbolic in that the chains represent oppression, the bell represents freedom, and the writings represent the emotions that come forth. I transitioned very quickly to the face of innocence that is abruptly ended. And so I thought it was very fitting to also end it with the words of Malcolm X. It beautifully summed up everything I was feeling. Purple Haze. Okay, that was it. Thank you for staying tuned. Thank you for watching it. I hope that you learned something. We are almost at the end of the Purple Haze campaign. It's been a long 30 days. It's been a long 30 days, but we are almost there. The last thing to come is the shout out to all of the people that were involved in the making of. So I'll be giving a special thanks and we will be hearing from them as well. So please stay tuned for the very last video. And I should release it on the 30th of June, the last day of the campaign. And keep watching. We are almost 50,000 viewers strong for the campaign. So thank you and keep staying tuned and I'll keep you posted.